Let's try that. Okay, let's see if we got audio now. Turn that on. See this, it got me all out of my way. And I was actually scared because YouTube ends up playing so many different games and stuff that you don't know if they're shutting you down. I've been trying to take care of my software issues that I've had. Please tell me if you've got sound now. Take care of my software issues and the live stream. So I've got the software in here, but it's not encoding and hitting it. So I think what I need to do is just erase it and start all over, which is sad because I've literally gone through and programmed everything in this. But it seems like every time they do a new software or something, it just screws everything up. You know, I had it down pat, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, new software update, do this, this, and this, and I hit it, and then it's like, oh, well, your software has to be updated on the cameras, but the software for the cameras wasn't up. How's everybody doing? I'm just kind of going crazy here tonight because technology is killing me, and I'm not going to stay on for long because this has just been messed up, and my head is just pounding now because it's just been screwed up. I had internet issues and stuff, and it's just not working. The sound is good. Well, here's the thing. Right now, I'm just going on just the one Mevo camera that's right in front of me that I normally do my live streams and stuff with. But as I've been using this software, because we're going to be doing a lot of things with Cowboys Experience, I'm trying to expand what I'm able to do. Unfortunately, every time I get it down pat, they end up changing the stuff around, and it's just not working. So, Mike, what I found out is I can live stream directly from a single camera. It's somewhere in the software. It's not going through there. So and it's weird because I can connect with it. I can see all of it. It just gives me like this. You see over there this error message, and I don't know how to deal with that error message on it. So
you have to look up this error on YouTube and see if
everything on there is like 3 or 4 years ago. So it's something that's new, huh?
Might be something on it
well, actually, what I need to do, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to uninstall the software and then reinstall it and see what happens, because it was working before, but from when because it kept doing some crazy stuff in there. So
another thing you need to do is figure out how to record your live streams.
Well, it records on Vimeo.
I'm talking about when you do the testing, so you're not putting out the same thing 3 or 4 times on YouTube.
Well, that may be it too. So actually,
I think it's the software and YouTube not talking, but you need to figure out how to record it if you want to do a test.
Let Michael fix it. Yeah, well, he's like, I don't know anything about it. Look it up. It's like, oh.
I mean, that's what I do. That's how I graduated college. I graduated college.
Okay, I'm old school. Now understand, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of knowledge about me. I'm dyslexic. Okay?
It's not an excuse.
No, hold on. It is if you grew up. It's not an excuse now because of the internet. Understand? Listen. Okay. No. Hold on. Before there was computers, okay? Before we were even allowed to use calculators in math, if you didn't know how to spell, they would say, look it up. As in, take the dictionary, a book about that thick, and look up the word. Okay, but if you're dyslexic, you don't know how to spell. If you don't understand that the K is silent in knee, then how do you look it up? How do you look it up if you don't know how to spell it? So for me, and I can't spell, and guys, it's funny because people are like, oh, you can't pronounce your name. Hey, listen, I know that. I know I'm not the brightest bulb out there. My gift is math and looking at stuff and saying, oh, okay, I want to build this. I can build it in my head. Something that very few people can do. But if you want me to be able to spell or say salafalo, I can't do it. So once I learn something, I'm good. But I'm not good with change. So every morning, it drives people crazy because I go, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here. Now, And thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joby Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work. Let's get open for business. I don't even think about that. It just happens. When I get down here to do a live stream, set everything up, and I just come out here and spit out words. But once it messes up, oh crap. And that's where I am right now. It's just like, I just can't talk. So, my biggest worry was because we were doing tests. I had the guy here from Verizon, he's like, check it and see if it's going now. And I kept checking it, and it kept still messing up. So it was screwing up. So my biggest worry was YouTube says, okay, you have been trying this too much.
On that particular software.
Yeah, and you need to stop. So Mike, can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and delete that software? That the live stream? Okay. Forget the haters, my guy. Well, let me go ahead and do this real quick, because this is part of what I wanted to actually start out with tonight, and at least I can do that with this.
What's up, Kyler? It's Dak. The 135th pick, Dak Prescott? Trust me, I know what it's like to be doubted. He's entirely too small. He shouldn't even play quarterback. Remember, though, doubt is a gift. It takes you to the next level. He's the best player in college football. So what if they doubt you? They doubted me, too. Go get him, bro.
Thank you, NFL.
So, here's my thing. Mike, here's the mouse. You don't use the mouse, I forgot. So, here's my thing. I got so many people out there that are talking about still, Dak Prescott is garbage. He's trash. Oh, I probably need to shut it down.
I wouldn't say he's trash.
No, that's exactly what some of these people have said. Get rid of him. He's a bum. He's trash.
Yeah, he has stuff to work on like everybody else, but he's not trash.
Now, here's what I went through. There's a video out there, basically worst quarterback play of the year. And I'm sitting here looking at Matthew Stafford throw 5 interceptions. I'm looking at Jared Goff in a game threw 4 interceptions. I'm looking at Cam Newton throw 4 interceptions and getting sacked left and right. I'm looking at the New York Jets quarterback. What's his name? Shit. I'm looking at Cincinnati's quarterback that's getting lit up and everything else. I'm looking at all these quarterbacks. Now, the interesting thing was I never saw Dak Prescott in any of these worst quarterback plays and accidents that happened. So my question then was, okay, if Dak hasn't had any of those worst games in the NFL like other people have, whoa, okay, so that just messed, is it, yes, am I on yes? If Dak has not had one of those games like that, Dak has been to the playoffs now twice in 3 years. What is it going to take for some of these haters to actually say he's okay quarterback? And that's what what will it take? Okay, let's say hypothetically we go to playoffs again this year and we get a second playoff win. So if he gets 2-2 in the playoffs, that at least gets as many wins as Tony Romo in the playoffs. Does that turn around and change anybody's opinion? Or is it still, he's a garbage quarterback, get him out here, we can't whip with him? So that was my question and what I was wondering about. What is it going to take for people to change their opinion on Dak Prescott? Or is it just going to be that we just cannot change people's opinion on Dak Prescott? I'm beginning to think that that's more of the case. This is weird. What's weird, Law? The stream ended on your end? Don't tell me that. You know, Law, it was doing that on you when you were talking last week one time. I've got some issues that are going. Hopefully it's back up. Hopefully it's just there. It hasn't. It's up on the screen for me. So hopefully it didn't. That you come back. Still working. Well, I'm looking at it in front of me. Even if Dak wins the Super Bowl, they won't get rid of the fact that, okay, still working here. Law, maybe it's, I don't know, Law, it's driving me crazy, man. I don't know about YouTube, man. They keep, I'm scared.
I want too.
What, on YouTube?
Because they're trying to take away our freedoms.
That's
the truth. They're taking away like our freedom of speech and all that stuff, and that affects YouTube too.
Yeah, because guys, here's what. While I got you guys on here. Oh, you're back live now. Okay, cool. Law Nation is in the house, so he can also be in here. He's part of D Live right now, as well. Because unfortunately, with YouTube, we have no control over what YouTube does.
That's the truth. That's why that's how InfoWars got.
You can be somebody with 100,000 subscribers, and they can just decide to just shut you down. Because Law Nation had over 30-some thousand subscribers on there.
Now, is that because it was posting that stuff on from...
Please take down all of the highlight videos, fam. Yeah. Oh, no, Dre the Great, yeah, I still don't have my... It's been now over a month that my other channel is gone.
Yeah, the highlight stuff, they'll get you on that. Or worst case scenario, then.
Mark loves the highlights but never watches the film. Well, okay. But here's the thing. Like I said, I thought for sure from trying to live stream and doing those tests earlier that my channel was actually shut down.
No.
But that doesn't mean that tomorrow it's not going to be. So I have a following. Law Nation has a following. We all have followings and stuff like that. But the thing is what do we do to prevent being shut down? And it just amazes me because the stuff that Law Nation does, that I do and things like that, it's not anything that's hurting anybody except maybe Eagle fans and Redskin fans. We're not doing, well, they demonetized them and they shut them down on Facebook as well.
Because of those highlights. NFL wants their money.
Well, regardless, but here's the thing. I'm just sitting here looking at some of the shit that I see on YouTube of people beating people down, cussing, butt naked.
You know who's the worst? EDP's the worst.
Oh, I mean, EDP, yeah. How are you doing, Michael Anthony? So that's what I'm
talking about his content, but
let me ask you guys a crazy question. No, I won't even do that, no.
I'm telling you, it's because they're getting rid of your freedom of speech, your freedoms.
Well, I think I'm going to have to start thinking about. John, you were 100% right. John, you were up late. You're up in Nova Scotia.
That's what it is, though.
But I'm worried. Film productions, it's not highlights that I was playing on my other channel. I don't get copyright strikes. I don't do breakdowns like everybody else does on that stuff.
Other than that one you did.
Huh?
Other than that one that you got.
Well, that was the only thing I got. One copyright strike, and that was a picture of Jerry Jones's boat.
If you get copyright,
and that's it. One copyright strike ever.
But if you get copyright strikes, that's actually someone striking your channel. YouTube would just demonetize you.
Right. That's the thing, and that's exactly what I'm saying. That right. You see Roscoe? Yeah, Roscoe's over there laying down.
Yeah, when big out for Christmas.
Oh my God, Willie A. Here's what's great. I got to tell you, when Michael talks, the sound is distorted.
I'm not even near the microphone, so of course it's going to be distorted.
Interesting.
I'm not even near the
Well,
microphone.
yeah, because he's way on the other side. And Boss knows all about the Illuminati. Here's the great thing about Amari Cooper and Dak. Amari basically said, you know what? You're borderline, Mark. The algorithms is seeing it. I'm borderline? Okay. Borderline. I've seen a lot of people that cross the line, though. And I'll be honest, most of that stuff is just me talking to you guys.
My question is, how did EP get away with it? Because this last video I watched was
yeah, Law, you can call in. That would be it. Let me set that up real quick. Let me get the Skype on.
Hey, Billy.
This is past my usual time here.
Yeah, but we don't have to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, but I'm just flustered.
I would be too, but
I'm flustered because I've been trying to get everything working.
blame Google.
Well, this I think is a software glitch, so I'm going to try and reload it and see if it...
But the thing to do is figure out how to record it when you're testing.
Law, I seriously think that would mess the stream up. Yeah, Law. Okay. All right, Law, if you want to call in, go ahead.
That's the thing to do and not just keep posting on YouTube to bypass all that extra stuff.
Who am I hoping for on Friday? Ah, man. A player that we can plug in that'll start right away and make a difference. How about that? That's what I'm hoping for.
You probably get that in the second round.
What have the football gods said about the coming year? They actually haven't said anything because they haven't talked to me. I'm just hoping that they just do their magic behind the scenes.
I did talk to Ed Oliver. He said he might be coming to the Redskins game since it's a 1 o'clock game.
Okay. Well, he's definitely invited.
I'm invited him.
We may be doing some stuff with some former Redskin players like Gary Clark as well.
I'll pass the work. I got his email now. He's as old as you are because he still has a little account.
Let's see.
And he's about my age.
Are you there, Law?
What's up?
Do I have video or are you just on the voice? Law Nation. Okay.
I showed him Mark Cooper.
All right, so Skype went down. Today is just not my day.
Today was a good day for me.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, you did. I got that situation taken care of, so.
Oh, let me try this one more time.
Yeah.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, there you are. How are you doing? Actually, put my camera back up here. Man, I had one of those, I think I'm shut down moments again, man. You know, I'm getting scared every day on YouTube right now. I've had some internet issues, and while I had them here working on it, I kept trying to live stream a couple of times. And all of a sudden now it won't allow me to live stream through the software. So I thought it was like, uh-oh, YouTube had put a block on me so I can't live stream. So, but I think it's actually the software. So I'm actually just doing it straight from my camera here, and I'm about an hour or so late. So how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I think I hear echo on my end. Let me see. Do you guys hear echo over there?
No, I don't hear an echo on my side.
Okay, good. Testing 1. Okay, I'm great. Well, the draft is right around the corner, and we need to make some serious moves to help this team out down the line. But I'm thinking that we pretty much shored up most of the things as it relates to like the gaps that's on this team, and we're looking for some fillers, somebody that can come into the mix to help out, basically.
Well, definitely, you know, listening to Stephen Jones basically is, and I kind of like this too, because I actually love what he said, that when you are having a position you got to fill, sometimes that guy looks a lot better because you're in a position of need than they really are. It's kind of like going to the grocery store when you're hungry.
Right.
You buy the Doritos, you buy, you know, the Snickers bars and everything else, but you forget to get the hamburger and the ketchup and the mayonnaise, all the stuff that you really need to cook dinner. So I kind of like this idea of being able to take the best player available, be it offensive lineman, be it a tight end, be it a safety. I really think safety is a place that will have players that will fall down. I just don't think safety is where everybody drafts in the first 2 rounds that much. At least in the past couple of years, we've had a lot of them drafted, so I don't think there's a big need.
Yeah, I ran several mock draft simulations, and they had a plethora of safeties out there, like the Savages of the world, and the Rap, and the Thornhill, and quite a few safeties out there. And the great Gail Bryant says this is one of the deepest safety classes that he ever seen with his eyes. So, you know, I listened to Gail Bryant real heavily, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was throwing some real knowledge in the press conference last week, last Wednesday. He was like, damn, he still got it for a guy that's that old. And see, a lot of people will say, man, we don't need a safety, blah, 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 blah. But they don't seem to understand what a safety does for a team. When you look at what Darren Woodson did, when you look at what a Charlie Waters did, when you look at, before Charlie Waters, God, what's his name? Hall of Famer. What, you know, with the amount of turnovers that they get. You know, Darren Woodson had, I think, 26?
Yeah.
And if we were able to get some turnovers, because we had 9 on the year last year, I mean, that sucks.
Yeah, it blows, man. You want the safety to be one of the smartest guys out there, outside of the middle linebacker. And the deal is with this team is that when we saw last year, and they're not trying to throw any salt at Jeff Heath. I mean, of course, you can look at a few games that Jeff Heath played in.
Be careful now talking about Jeff Heath, because you know how some of the fans of Jeff Heath are getting to be like homosexuals.
Yeah, I like Jeff Heath.
I'm not saying he's about. No, okay, okay, look, my son over here, he's about to jump on.
I'm with you. They're not every down safety, but don't get rid of him.
Okay, just
don't get rid of him. No.
I didn't say get rid of him, but here's the thing: I don't think that he's an every down guy. You need a rotation of people to go in there, and you need backups as well. If Jeff Heath had gotten hurt, where were we going last year?
I don't know.
If Kayvon Frazier got hurt last year, where were we going? Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I mean your prototypical strong safety that's deep down in the box was Kayvon, and he was injured last year. He had a dislocated shoulder.
Right.
So
and Xavier was hurt in training camp too.
Right.
Now,
so you got to have depth. Yeah.
Now we got George,
but you got rid of him for that wide receiver.
Okay, well, but see, here's the thing: I need a hybrid that is going to go in there. No, understand what I'm looking for. I want the junkyard dog that says, I own the middle of this field. If you step in my yard, you get knocked the F out. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to take the ball away from you. If you're a running back, you're getting, chopped. You're just getting knocked out. And if we can get somebody that can do that, because I mean, like I said, Jeff Heath plays good in periods. But when was the last time you saw Jeff Heath just, light somebody up? He is forever a leg tackle guy, a bad angle, chasing somebody and getting an arm, around the leg or something.
Yeah, that's the deal. We've been saying, hey man, we like his speed. I like Anthony Brown's speed. I like Jeff Heath's speed. I like most of the guys that's on his team speed. Mm-hmm. That's good to have speed, but we need playmakers.
That's what I'm saying, and people don't seem to understand that. Because here's the difference. Think about 2014. We came off of having the worst defense in the history of the NFL, basically, in 2013, with DeMarcus Ware, Jason Hatcher, and Sean Lee. Sean Lee tears up his knee. DeMarcus Ware goes to Denver. Hatcher gets paid and goes to Washington and goes back to his 3-4 sacks a year. And our defense in 2014, it moved up to 19th. But what they really did good, it wasn't a lights-out defense like we had right now. They were second in the NFL in taking the ball away. Yeah. And that made it so much easier for Tony Romo and that offense, because when you get a takeaway, that defense isn't expecting on going out in the field. It's like, oh shit, where's my helmet? I'm sitting here sucking on some Gatorade. I'm looking at the book. I'm talking about what's going on. I'm checking out the cheerleaders. And now I got to go out on the field. And that gives you that opportunity to go ahead and light it up down the field when the defense isn't ready. And we got very few of those opportunities from our defense. And that's where I look at and say the two places I would love to be able to get is a big beast that can get a push in the middle. So we get Robert Quinn and D-Law coming on the outside, that it's like a trash compactor on that quarterback. And get me a safety who's out there who can get the ball.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm talking Super Bowl then.
Yes, you're talking about Super Bowl. And then on top of that, if we really want to look at it, our defense is collectively it's a traditional good defense. Mm-hmm. But if we look at the 2007 Colts, right, that was a team that won it for the Peyton Manning, his first Super Bowl.
And their defense sucked until the playoffs.
Their defense sucked. But if you look at it, they had turnovers and takeaways.
That's right. And that's
the 09 Saints. Mm-hmm. Turnovers and takeaways. Although it was a little bounty hunt here and there, but turnovers and takeaways.
Right, exactly, and that's where we need to get. And don't get me wrong, our defense is playing so much better than where we were a couple of years ago. And people will say, "Man, the defense is playing good, man. Why? You need to talk about the offense." Now, listen, offense. I agree. Offense got to play better than they did last year. But I will take the second half of the offense from last year. If we get that for the whole year, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm good.
And that's what I talked about earlier on the Law Nations 2.0 page. I talked about a little bit about during this time last year, Dak Prescott wasn't throwing the ball to Gallup. He was not throwing the ball to Amari Cooper.
Right.
I think that Alan Hearn was just not getting off the plane. So it takes time for all that chemistry and stuff to build up. And trust me, right now, Dak Prescott throwing to Randall Cobbs and those boys. So it's going to be nice.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. So, you know what, I actually positively love that, and I know you've been paying attention to it too, but listening to Amari Cooper basically saying, I'm not worried about the contract, my agent's taking care of that, I'm worried about, getting better and stuff. And he talks about that chemistry with him and Dak, how it's just like they are, perfect working together. And I am excited because the fact that they're both healthy and can actually go out and work together, as we've had in past years where, Tony's hurt or Dez is hurt, where they're not able to actually practice together. I think that dynamic could be something really, really special. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be something nice, man. NICE is one of those things where I'm looking at it. Whereas Amari Cooper, he's like an old school brother who really don't look for the shine. He just grind, and I love it because of the young quarterback that Dak Prescott is. He don't need a boisterous guy. I'm thinking that Marvin Harrison 2.0 is Amari Cooper. So, and if you add in the fact that Randall Cobb, the same person, same pedigree of Amari Cooper, and then you throw in a mix of a Michael Gallup, OMG. These guys, these are all dogs that are going to get out there and work. So I'm loving what I'm hearing. And also, it could be a quite possibility that we would have Amari Cooper to join the Cowboys experience. That would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Now, the only thing, there's only one problem with Amari Cooper.
Talk to me.
That's it. That's it exactly. Talk to me. Amari Cooper is so low key, man. He's so quiet.
He wouldn't even say hi to me unless I talk to him first.
I mean, seriously, he is so low key that he just goes about his business, and he just does not talk about it.
Well, they say the empty wagon make a lot of noise. You see, so he's one of those guys that like to observe the situation, and as they say, talk is silver, silence is gold. So he's more one of those reserved brothers. Nothing wrong with that, but it showed now. I know that he got a dog mentality because when I looked at the film the other day of him versus the Peterson kid that he played against the LA Rams, he was all in his face and the guy pushed him. He pushed him back. I'm telling you, he got a little moxie about him now. He got a little dog attitude.
No, like I said, I will take that over AB any day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I love a guy that just goes out there and lets my talk go on the field. But now when you talk about Cowboys experience and everything else and hanging with the players, you're looking for that interaction and stuff. And not everybody out there is like the playmaker type interacting and stuff. But don't get me wrong, I would love to go ahead and do some work with him. I know that I believe Jalen Smith is going to be working with them, right?
Right,
Jesse,
right.
We know works with them.
Almost the same type of mentality, same type of pedigree, not a real boisterous guy off the field, but these are the things we can talk to him about. You got Amari, you can talk to him about, hey, when I look at his Instagram page, he's more like he like to dress up a little bit. He like to put on some jazz, you see, and show to Jalen. He got to have those clear out view glasses, so we're going to have tons of things that's outside of Cowboys that we can really talk to those boys about. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Not sure who gave me that one. It's Dickie Normus. Thank you very much, Dickie. I missed that. Sorry. Oh, Lordy. I keep forgetting. Richard Normus. Damn.
Dickie.
Dickie Normus. You still didn't get it yet, did you? Okay. You got it now. Okay. Right. Yeah. Richard Normus. Okay. Anyway, appreciate the super chat. I still actually have your band. Look, I suck. Okay. I admit it. I suck. Richard Normus, we still have that here for you. I got to get a like cylinder to put that in there and get that sent to you. So that's probably what I'll do because I'll be home tomorrow with the wife being sick. You know, it's funny because when I get sick, it's kind of like, well, you need to go to the doctor. Wife gets sick, so, oh, I don't feel so good. It's like, okay, so let me baby the baby. But so I'll be around here tomorrow. So I'll take care of that stuff, Richard Normus. What's that, Mike? I hear you clearing your throat.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Did you see Zeke Elliott's tattoo?
Yeah, he looked like a zombie or something, like a possessed.
Hey, he looked like a White Walker from Game of Thrones. I was like, damn,
Right.
That's kind of. Did you forget the eyes or something? That shit was wild. A lot of people have been saying that he looks fat. Have you not heard about that one?
Look, I'm going to say this again. Ezekiel Elliott always worried. I always be worried about Ezekiel Elliott during the offseason. Ezekiel Elliott has been known to start off slow. 2016,
oh my God,
slow.
every year. His rookie is every single year he ends up, usually below 4 yards an average. In fact, his rookie year, I was kind of like, man, they need to start, Alfred Morris.
Yeah, a lot of people said it. So he's a slow starter. And my thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Continue to do your thing, Ezekiel Elliott. Be that whale, I guess, during the off season. But we want you to be a shark during the beginning of midway through the season and beyond. So it's just one of those things. Some people just don't stay in shape off season.
Eric Barnes on the tight end position. He says we're good at the tight end position.
Jason Williams.
I'm not going to say we're good at the tight end. I mean, we're okay for the moment. But understand that to me, tight end, and maybe you'll agree or disagree with me, to me, tight end has actually become as important, if not more important, than wide receiver. Would you agree with that?
Yes, indeed. I agree. Sometimes when you working out there, I know you do some carpentry work, and you look at that board, and then you got that old board with a little knot in it that just bent a little bit.
Yeah.
And you say, I'm gonna just push that board to the side and still work on these new ones, right? And maybe I can use something with this board down the line. That's what we're having right now. Jason Witten is that old board that got that little knot and that bend in it, and you're trying to figure out where I'm gonna put that board. I don't want to throw it away, but I know I'm gonna have to use it down the line. And I got these fresh boards that I'm really got to utilize before this project is due. And this is the situation. Jaron, we know what he can do down the line. We saw some improvements. Schultz, you don't really know. I can say this, Rico, he improved down the line as far as
blocking. He can block it. He got blocked, yeah. I still say they screwed up on him, making him gain weight. I was okay with him when he was in I guess that was 2017. Was that when he was sleek and he could run, but they kind of said, nah, he's a liability in blocking. But once he put on that weight, it seemed like he was when he was running, he's kind of he didn't have that smooth run and stuff. Now, Carolina Cowboys saying, I didn't hear about Jerry Jones taking Jonathan Abrams, safety, out to dinner. Did you hear about that?
I haven't heard about that. The only news that's trending now is Dak Prescott feeding Ezekiel Elliott popcorn at the Stars game. It's all on Twitter.
Okay.
That's all I saw.
Okay.
He's feeding him. Go look it up, Mark.
Okay. Well, you know what? I always said this team is like family. Okay.
They are.
All right. Now you know how some people are going to go through. He's feeding them popcorn. I can see some of the haters out there saying some crap out there. And somebody else, there was another question in here that I wanted to get to. Hey, Miss Jackie, how are you doing?
You know why I wanted to say that, Mark?
What's up?
It looks like Ezekiel Elliott is back to 2016 Ezekiel Elliott. You remember when they was playing with the candy?
Oh, yeah.
It's the exact same imagery of Dak Prescott feeding Ezekiel Elliott, throwing popcorn all in his face. They have a good time.
Yeah.
So it's one of those jovial moments.
You know, and here's the thing that like I said, I keep talking about this team being family. We'll see if that translates to winning. But it seems to be that they're playing for each other and stuff, and that's a great point that you bring up in there. But like the Mud Bug, is that what it was called this weekend? Because I remember Miss Jackie had sent me the link and stuff for it. I would have loved to have gone to that. But with the Dallas Cowboys, most of the players live in Dallas, so they're there all year round. So we've seen them at hockey games and basketball games and everything else, doing all these autograph signs and stuff. Think about this. The Green Bay Packers put into their salary cap have $5.7 million in workout incentives to get their players to come back to do off-season workouts. You know how much we have in that?
I don't know.
Zero.
Educate me. Oh, wow.
Not
Okay.
a single penny is put into any single Dallas Cowboys player's contract to work out. Not one. Why? Because they're all here. And these guys have been chomping at the bit to get out there and start working out. They're ready to play right now. And that's what you get with young, hungry guys. You get veterans. Veterans are like, I don't really want to practice.
Right.
Let me just go in here and play. I ain't trying to do training camp. I ain't trying to do no weight training. Just let me show up and work. And that's one of those things that I absolutely positively love. I apologize, everybody who's I'm having some difficulties that I got to get out of taken care of before Thursday night before the draft. With my software and things, but hopefully I'll get that squared away. I got the internet signal. At least we got a clear picture and everything else, and I know I can work with at least one camera. So shout out to everybody who's here later than usual, although I guess you on the West Coast are happy that it's starting out a little later than usual. What's your big takeaway? What's the thing that you want to see on this draft? I know Will McClay is the wizard. You know, we didn't think we had a good draft last year. People didn't think we had a good draft in 2016. But that 2016 draft may go down in the history of the Dallas Cowboys if they win a Super Bowl or two as maybe the best draft that we've ever had when you think about it. It was funny because I was going back and looking at that a couple days ago and looking at what they said about our draft after the draft. They had us about 18th in the draft as far as what we did with the players. They said, yeah, Zeke Elliott will be a player, but you don't take a running back that high. Dak Prescott, if you keep him behind Tony Romo for 3 or 4 years, he might be an okay backup. They didn't even mention Jalen Smith in there in the articles I was looking at. Charles Tapper? You know, they said Charles Tapper might be a good player. Collins, they didn't think it was going to do anything. Anthony Brown, of course, and all that. But you look at that draft, you got more players out of that are impact players and starters that play valuable minutes. So what do you hope we get out of this draft? You know, I want a gorilla in the middle, and I want a safety. What do you want out of it?
Well, I'm thinking likewise of you. I want some good defensive guys. Draft, when you evaluate draft, it's every 3 to 4 years. It's not every year. So a lot of times when we look back at it, we can really say, man, 2016 was nice for us. And I'm thinking with my small mind is that I think that Will McClay is going to do another fantastic job. I do like more so than the first and the second and third round picks. I love what we can do in the fourth and the fifth, and also with the undrafted rookies that we'll pick up this year. Yeah, and that's the sweet area. I mean, it's easier to look at the board and say, man, this guy's going to be this or that when you pick him from the first 30 picks. But when you start picking with the 200 picks and the 300 pick, but the 200 pick, you know what I mean? And the 180th pick, you then have to really do your homework, and I think that's where Will McClay shines. And also, I'll be remiss. I don't want to leave out Christopher Hall been doing a great job as well with the scouting and everything, and I just love our scouting department. I think we're one of the best. If you look back at the Raiders, they sending people home. They already saying that we don't trust this guy, we don't trust that guy, and it's you talking about dumpster fire. The Raiders are the dumpster fire.
And of course, you got Derek Carr, so they're about to go ahead and part ways with him. Take a big-ass salary cap hit with him, just like they did with Khalil Mack and stuff. And they got 3 number 1 picks. Do you really think that they're going to do something with those picks and actually get somebody? I just don't see this working out. It's just bad. It's something to talk about. It's exciting, but I don't see this being – I just don't see it working.
What I'm seeing, what we're going to do is we might entertain that. I think the NFL would love for the Dallas Cowboys to make some type of appearance in the first round on the day one. They have our ratings and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Roger Goodell may get on the phone and say, "Hey, come on, Raiders, call Jerry, make this thing happen. Let's get some type of news announcement ready for the world to have America's team somewhere in this draft on the first day, But
what else from the Raiders would you want to get back into the first round? I don't know about.
You said that Jerry Jones getting long in the tooth. You don't drink so much Johnny Walker Blue.
I'm not one for trading up, man. It's because for me, I keep thinking about the Glass Man, Morris Claiborne.
Right.
And thinking about that number 1 and number 2 draft pick. Because not only did you waste the number 1, that number 2 pick should have been somebody who should have been starting on our team. It risks too much moving up. I'd rather move back. And I know that's not the sexy thing. You want to hear about that, just like the movie Draft Day. Oh, my God, the Cowboys just made a blockbuster trade to go up and grab this guy. It's a great story, feel-good moment, everything else. But that's not usually where you build a team.
Yeah, but when you got the clock, the biological clock, tick, 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 you then begin to say to yourself, out of this particular draft, do I need depth on multiple areas, or do I need that 1 or 2 playmaker? And I'm trusting my staff with two fourth-round draft picks. Those picks are tradable. Do I need to move up a little bit closer into this draft to get a player that I know for sure they're going to be a playmaker in this particular draft?
58 to the first round? Come on,
I'm not trying to say that you're going to do that, but hey.
You'd have to go ahead and use some picks from the following year.
Maybe.
Or some players.
Yeah. Or you might look at it from this angle. I think the Texans got the pick 55 and 56. I know we picking at 58.
Yeah.
You got the filthy Eagles picking right ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
They said, okay, the Eagles love to try to dance in our parade, so what we're going to do is try to parlay and talk to the Texans. It could be ways where I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to make some type of move, some type of trade. I don't think that they're going to sit on and wait all the way to 58 pick, even on day 2. I think that they're going to make a power play to move up at least on day 2 in one of those earlier rounds to get a player that they really want.
I could see in the second round moving up. So if there's a guy that they say, okay, this is a game changer that we can get now. But I don't know. Reaching all the way to the first, that would be big. That'd be really big. What do you think about Seattle trying to trade Frank Clark? You think that that's a case of Russell Wilson is sucking up all the money?
This is probably a case where they trust their coaching staff to coach up their front four, and utilizing ways to get from under that big cap and getting from under that big expenditure of what they're going to pay Frank. Frank Clark might want D-Law's money.
Well, they're definitely talking about $90 million. He's in the ballpark of it. So you think about that. Now you're talking about, say, 18 to 20 million on top of Russell Wilson's 35. So all of a sudden you got $50+ million tied up with 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of hard to do. And
Frank Clark, he worth the skin nor the salt.
And see, they only have 4 picks too. So that means you've got to fill out that team with free agents, and you can't do that. At least, and this is where it gets interesting to me when we start talking about Dak Prescott's contract is, the Cowboys have most of their starters already on the roster. Everybody's pretty much already in there. You're going to end up doing Amari Cooper's deal. Amari Cooper's actually going to give you some cap room the first year so you can get Dak underneath there. Zeke Elliott, I think it would behoove them to do his contract now and eat up these 2 years and make it part of that extension. So that way, by the time he's 27, you could say, okay, your production's gone downhill. Walk. Everybody keeps saying, oh, no, make him play on his contract for this year, take the 5th-year option, and then, sign him to the long term. But you do that, now you're talking about stretching him out till he's like 29 years old. You don't want to have a big contract for a running back at 29. Extend him now, so by the time he's 27, if he's still playing good, you can keep him, or you can let him go.
I mean, You 1,000% right, but they're going to use this year to see where they're going to look at Ezekiel Elliott. If he can put up another monstrous year, then they might slap another franchise tag on him, squeeze him a little bit, and then I don't know. I really don't know. But Stephen Jones, he's going to fight. He's not going to just open up your wallet and give it to you without fighting. Trust me, he might even fight with Dak Prescott.
He might. And you know, we got plenty of guys out there that say that, you know, Dak is garbage. You had posted on your feed on YouTube about some of the hate for Dak Prescott. It still amazes me at how much people still say he's garbage. I went through, and you can look this thing up, but look up worst quarterback play in 2018, and you'll go through, and they've got about 9 quarterbacks that had like 4 or more interceptions in games. I'm talking about Cam Newton. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford. I'm talking about Jared Goff. You saw one game of Jared Goff. You looked at that, it was like, that was not his rookie year. That was last year. And I mean, some of these guys are straight up bums. And the amazing thing was I never saw Dak on any of those.
Yeah, I mean, Dak is a protector of the ball, and one of the things that he gets so much hate and criticism, unwanted criticism, is because he plays on America's team. I know we can say that, but I can tell you for other reasonings too, but I'm not going to go that way. But it's crazy. Cowboys fans out there and beyond, sometimes they look at it and they say, well, you know, he can't throw the ball like Matt Ryan. He can't throw the ball like Matthew Stafford. But I guarantee you, those guys, they wish they had the win total.
I'm looking at two comments in here. One, Ndamukong Suh for $8 million, and second one, Dez Bryant's coming back. What? Come on, guys. We got a log jam right now at wide receiver. Dez Bryant, stop with the Dez Bryant.
With the Raiders, I thought.
What, Dez?
No, I'm talking about Ndamukong Suh. I thought he signed with the Raiders.
No, he's not signed yet. Because here's the thing: where business, I don't know if you noticed this or not, where business has changed, where free agency, you get the big name guys that sign real quick. But now, because of compensatory picks, that second group of guys like Ndamukong Suh, they're not trying to pay them till after May 7th, because after May 7th is when it counts as if you've lost free agents for that compensatory pick. So if we sign Ndamukong Suh now for $8 million, then you would actually lose if we had lost another big name free agent, so to speak. So it's kind of devaluing those guys. But would you want Suh on your team?
Man, hell yeah. But this is the thing. He's 34 years old. The market resets itself. After the draft, basically, I think teams don't want to pick him up because he's 34 years old, and they don't want to use that. They don't want to miss out on draft capital, getting somebody that they know for sure that probably can get you 1 or 2 plays a game at a high level. And they say, man, you know what? Not at $14.5 million. What we would do is we wait for the market to reset itself after the draft, and now he can't demand $14 million, and they say, okay, we will slide you $7 million, and we give you incentive base back to the 14 if you can play 16 games, if you can get me 4 to 5 sacks coming from the interior, and if you can do such and such and such and such tackles. So that's what they're looking at it, and that's how I would look at it from a financial aspect of it. So teams are right. Yeah.
Well, maybe the Cowboys are waiting to bring in a veteran running back. Right now, there's not a whole lot of great ones out there. Was a T.Y. Yeldon? He just signed yesterday. I'm trying to think of who else is out there, veterans right now. I mean, there's interest in Duke Johnson.
But I think teams respect the what's that coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Not the coach, but the guy from the Giants. Coffin. He said that T.J. Yeldon gave up on a team. He was showing bad character and was not practicing and performing up to the level. And he said that he was a horrible guy out there and he wasn't bending to the rules. So, when an old grumpy old man says those things about you, it diminishes value. So a lot of teams are like, well, I don't want that in my locker room. We'll wait till after the draft as well on him. And I guess what the Bills was like, man, you know what? McCoy's getting old. Yeah. The other running back that we got, We need to just throw in him and have a 3-headed monster. So they just trying to reach for players.
Get some more bodies. How you doing tonight,
yeah.
Stephanie? Nice to see you in here. Miss Jackie, 5 Rings, Eric Barnes. Everybody, thank you for joining in at our late live stream here. Sorry, I had some more technical difficulties. I guess the more you try and do, the harder it gets, and you get a hiccup when you're an old fart like me. It kind of rolls downhill, you know what I mean? Des Bryant can catch. Are you related to Des?
Ask Law Nation about that video he put out.
There's a reason why he was called 50-50.
Ask Law Nation about that video he put out from year 2.
And Des can't run anymore. Listen, I'm a young guy. Okay. I'm going to humor you for a minute. What would Des Bryant add to the team that we don't have right now?
Nothing.
I'll wait.
Nothing.
Go ahead, Law.
Well, maybe linemen in the formation as far as the defensive wise, but outside of that, I would trust the Gallup kid. I would want him to be out there more on the field. This is the thing. Dez Bryant is a wonderful guy, and I love what he does out the field. And trust me, what it took 2000 and what year was it, Mark? 2017 or the end of 2017 to reach out to the route guru to say, hey, I need help in running routes.
Yeah, right.
Was he drafted in 2010?
Yeah, that was when he was when he finally realized, oh shit, I might not be re-signed. That was the last year he was here. Last summer.
You know what happened?
This time, like right now, it was a year ago that he was working out with them.
You know what happened though? You got the
and trust me, Cowboy Nation, we all love Dez. We don't hate the guy or anything of that nature. But what we are saying collectively is that it's strange where you go all the way from, you got drafted in 2010.
Yeah.
You don't ask nobody for help until 2017. Matter of fact, I'll give you the latter part of 2016, and I know a lot of people going to say, well, Dak Prescott can't hit water if he fell off a boat.
Lord, here we go.
But at the end of the day, man, come on, Cowboy Nation. Let's be wise enough to think about this.
I'll put it this way. No, sometimes guys just click.
Right.
Instantly, some guys just know. And that's where Amari and Dak are right now. For Amari to come in cold, didn't have any offseason, didn't have any training camp, and literally came in. You know in the NFL, once the season starts, you have one padded practice. You have 11 of those for the whole season. Mm-hmm. And you have to have those out of the way by week 11. So for him to come in week 7, they couldn't have had more than 4 or 5 padded practices. For him to come in like that, and him and Dak. Now think about this, because if you're saying that Dak can't do anything, how come if Amari Cooper is that good, Derek Carr couldn't do anything with him?
Right.
Derek Carr worked with the guy for how many years? He had 225 yards. He had training camp with them and everything else, and couldn't get but 1 touchdown in 6 games. So that whole stuff that just Dak can't, but for whatever reason, Dak and Zeke just weren't on the same page. But I will say, in my mind, here's the reason why I will say it. Tony Romo was great at improvisation. I mispronounced that. But basically, Tony Romo would buy enough time. He would run around, he'd scramble, and he would be able to hit Des Bryant, because Des Bryant was not rigid in his routes. It might be a yard further on this time go-around. It might be a half a yard short on the next go-around. And Dak is more of that timing quarterback where you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, and that's where I'm throwing that ball to that spot. And that's where they just did not click. Amari Cooper, he is a technician. That guy is a real route runner, and he's going to be where he's supposed to be, and Dak knows that. So I look at that, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So
yes, indeed.
With an offseason,
we go back and forth on this, Mark. There's nobody on his team that's a younger Jason Witten, right? Mm-hmm. That's what Tony Romo. Let me talk about the luxury. I know you're probably trying to wrap this show up, but there's nobody on this team. There's a younger Jason Witten right now. Mm-hmm. There's nobody on this team that's even in the same room as Terrell Owens. I know that a lot of people say, well, hold on, Amari Cooper. No.
Not yet.
Not yet. There's nobody on this team that's closer to Terry Glenn. They call it she, the player. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody, and we can go on and on and on and on about the offensive line. They were there, they wasn't there, what have you, and the three-headed monsters and things like that. No, Dallas Cowboys. We had these signature players on our team in the past. Not trying to say that Tony Romo never had nobody to throw to. But for us to look at the start of last year, for us to run Deontay Thompson out there, and God dog it, who's the other
Terrence Williams, Al's Hearns.
Right. Gallup wasn't even starting at that point. He couldn't even get on the field, and we had to go reach for a Hail Mary to bring back Bryce Butler. Of all people.
Right.
He was talking
After
about,
he trashed the team.
Bryce Butler? So that's where we was at last year. Now we got some guys that can run routes, can run underneath. I mean, we got some
can play different positions in there and really run the route tree.
Yeah. So
how many sacks will Tank and Quinn have combined? Oh man, it better be more than 20. I hope it's 25.
Yeah, well, that's a lofty number there, but yeah, it could happen.
Well, here's the thing though. Remember, it's contagious. If D-Law comes back healthy and he's playing lights out, where he had 14 and a half 2 years ago, he had 10 this past year. If he gets to that 14, and you got Quinn on the other side, I will say Quinn is better than Randy Gregory. Gregory got 6, right?
Yeah.
So if he gets 6 or 7 or 8, you're over 20.
Yeah. I mean,
and if we get that beast in the middle to push, come on now. Sacks are where Super Bowls are won, man. Sacks and turnovers. And I want to see a lot of them. I want to see a lot of I want to see Carson Wentz rolling around on the ground with a few Cowboy players on top. Not hurt. I don't want to bust him up.
Right.
But I want to see him on the ground.
Yeah. We, according to the Eagles fans, D-Law don't get any sacks versus the Eagles. We'll see this year, right?
You know what? The team got a whole bunch of sacks, I believe, didn't they? I think.
Well, they put Lance Johnson on Mount Rushmore. They said that he's a Hall of Famer right tackle, and that he shuts down DeMarcus Lawrence. And I did a video saying otherwise, but I had to delete the video because of other things. But but you guys got the picture if you was able to see it. D-Law does much more than just sacks, and by creating pressure.
Tackles for loss, definitely getting pressure on the quarterback. I actually don't know that much about, and I probably should ask Michael about it, about Soto that we signed from the AAF defensive tackle. Michael said he doesn't know that much about it. What's up, Vosh? Nice to see you, man.
This much, a lot of defensive tackles from the AAF are being signed.
Well, yeah, definitely, because you definitely need those.
And at least the whole football team got signed, so let's put it that way. So.
Right, there you go.
If nothing else, that's a success right there for a football team where the players got signed.
All right, well, Law, I'm going to give you the final word here tonight. I've actually been in here for an hour late and things without my regular stuff in here, so I'm kind of running a little bit late. What are your plans? What are you doing for the draft?
Pretty much, I'm going to sit back and enjoy it. I might just jump live here and there. We can play a little simulator game right before the draft and see who all can get those draft picks correct. And we'll just do a couple shout-outs and just do some live reactions.
I believe, actually, if you guys want to win a Jalen Smith autographed mini helmet, go to Cowboys Experience, okay? In fact, go to Cowboys Experience, like the Facebook page, and if you guys are interested in football packages, go through there and tell them that Joe Boo Sports sent you, and you'll get an autographed picture. But if you can get the first 2 picks right for the Dallas Cowboys, you will win that Jalen Smith autographed helmet. And how many games are you going to go to this year?
Oh, me? Well, every home game, we're going to do this like mini quasi pep rally, Cowboys experience, like the day before the game. And we will be live like 95, baby. You guys know how this thing go. And I would love to see you guys there. It's going to be every home game. We're going to be in the mix with Cowboys experience. It's going to be 3 current Cowboy players and possibly the original 88 and some other veteran players.
You just said old. I heard that slip. You said old.
Yeah, old players. You know?
Come on, man.
Yeah. You know they old, man.
Past players, you know. Come on, don't put that old out there like that. I think we actually will be down for the. We're doing the takeover game for the Redskins, but unfortunately the Redskins are the last game of the season. But I think we're going to be down there for the Giants season opener, and we're already talking about a huge tailgate for the game too. I've got West Coast is going to be coming to the East Coast and stuff for our tailgate and stuff there, and we're going to be working with Barry. So it's Cowboys experience is not just in Dallas. We're going to be doing a couple of road games and stuff too. So we're going to be having a great time. So definitely check them out. If you can guess the Cowboys' first 2 picks, you will win that Jalen Smith autograph helmet. So I'm looking forward to all that stuff, man. All right,
yes, indeed.
We're actually
one more thing before we go, and shout out to Eric Barnes too, man. He made a donation to help grow you, man.
Thank you very much, Eric Barnes.
Hey, just one more thing, Mark, before I go. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I will have a social media lawyer out on the page, and he will be going over YouTube demonetization policies, reuse of content. He'll also go over net neutrality, however you say that word, and we'll have an open forum about the policies as it relates to Article 13. Also, the UK then changed Article 13 over to Article 17, and he will go over those particular articles as well as Article 11, so that everybody can have the wealth of knowledge when they post something on social media collectively, and how it will affect down the line. So he will give us a bunch, and I'm talking about tons of knowledge. You got a YouTube page as well. I will give all you guys that information. Check out my channel tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, whereas we can all get educated and be able to do this stuff long term versus short term, and working with YouTube instead of fighting against them, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because YouTube it's a fickle process, but we got to learn it in order and understand it, and understand what's going on collectively outside of YouTube with the policies and things that they got to actually adhere to in order to be a good standing website. And he's going to go into things from A to Z. Of course, he's a social media lawyer, so he helps out with just beyond more than just YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. You name it, you claim it, he does it. You see,
I
as far as
definitely
social
need to
media.
know him. Definitely. So 8 o'clock. Okay, so 9 o'clock my time. I will definitely.
Yes.
It'll be a live stream.
It will be live. We will be live like 95 on the Law Nation's original page. Should be no commercials, straight information for everyone, so that we can get the better understanding of this, and hopefully we all will be educated. So
Well, shout out to you
for
for getting him, because that's definitely, it's getting scary when you start building and doing all this work and stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens. It's just like, man, it's just like you lost a family member. So everybody, thank you all for tuning in. Thursday night we will be at Lucky Sports Bar live there. We're going to start out at 6 o'clock, and then Friday night and Saturday we'll be actually here in the man cave eating some chicken wings and some pulled pork and stuff. So hopefully you guys will tune in. I see Vosh Lombardi's in the house. I know he's going to be doing some stuff as well. And if you want to chime in, we should be able to Skype you in as well if you want to during the draft with your thoughts. All right. So everybody, thank you all so much for being here. I'm Mark Holmes with Law Nation. Be sure to subscribe to Law. Be sure to subscribe to me as well. And we'll see you guys soon.